When you had become sick with stress, did you have somebody that pulled you out of that was inspiring to then take this step? Or was it more like you had to pull yourself out and then you're like, nobody else should feel this way? Or what was the trigger there?
A little bit of both, Travis, and that's a great question. So serendipitously, I have an older sister. She's a psychologist. She's an expert in MBSR, which is mindfulness-based stress reduction.
Mm-hmm.
The morning I couldn't get out of bed, I called her. She heard my slurred speech. She came over and she goes, I thought I had a brain tumor, right? Because I couldn't physically move. And I'm getting to an age where that's possible, right?
When you said that in the intro, I was like, did you literally you couldn't
literally,
move?
I couldn't get out of bed.
Wow, okay.
I couldn't get out of bed.
That's like a super deep level.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds super dramatic and it felt dramatic, but the reality is when you think about it, it's the signals from your brain that makes your body move.
Yeah.
And what happens when you have the kind of stress that I have is that the pipes are clogged. So the signal can't get from the brain to the rest of the body. Mm. And it also manifested itself later on because after I was sick for 6 weeks, I went back to work and I looked at my calendar. I might as well have looked at like Greek characters. I had no idea what I was looking at, as in nothing. And so it's not because I lost my mind, but it's just because the signals weren't computing. So anyway, so I called my sister. She comes over and she goes, you don't have a brain tumor. It's stress. Welcome to the club. Right. And it was kind of ironic because the previous 15 years or so, I'd been the not so kind guy who had looked at everybody who suffered from stress and be like, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
sucker.
I lived in New York City. I traveled all over the world. I had all these companies. I was doing these investments, all this stuff. And you're a school teacher in Denmark, working 37-hour weeks, 6 weeks vacation, social security net, and you're stressed.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't feel that if you had asked me to, but I had a little bit of that sort of arrogance. So this was my wake-up call. This was universe telling me, you know what? I'm the boss of you. I'm going to put you in your place and kind of show you. And so she helped me come out of the initial thing. But the second part of your question, nobody had stopped me from doing what I was doing. I was on a plane twice a week the previous year. I was in the process of becoming divorced. My board, I had multiple times in my boardroom said, everything is going okay, but I still feel like I'm flying a jet fighter. I'm hanging on the wing and I'm looking into the cockpit and there's nobody there. I literally used that expression. And so one of the things I want to emphasize with you and with your listeners is boards do have a responsibility to be aware of and pick up signals of the mental health of their CEOs and of their founders. And when you think of it, the smart investor, the smart board does that.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are two brilliant guys who've built Airflight, right?
Yeah.
Innovation. If you guys got sick, the money that people had invested in you would be gone. I mean, they could hire somebody like me, but I know nothing about what you guys did. So making an investment in a mental investment and being aware of how your golden goose is doing, so to speak, is a very wise one. And thankfully, we're seeing more and more investors and boards waking up to that.